I don't need a mirror to see what's left of me. I can feel the jagged edges where your ghost still resides. I'm a map of every almost, and we were meant to be a collection of the secrets that a broken spirit hides. They told me time would level out the valleys and the peaks, that the red would turn to white and then to gray. But the memory of your touch is the only thing that speaks in the quiet, hollow hours of the day. It isn't like a bruise that fades from purple into gold. It isn't like a story that eventually gets old. It's a permanent reminder written deep beneath the skin of the war I didn't know that I was in. Loving the scar I'll always carry, the mark of a beautiful, terrible thing, a vow that I made but was too afraid to marry. The winter that followed a 3-month spring. I can heal, I can move, I can learn how to believe, but you're the one thing I can never leave. Every heartbeat is a rhythm, every breath is a bar, and the song of the girl with the permanent scar. Yeah, loving you was the scar. People look when I mention your name, like they're waiting for the bleeding to start all over again. They wanna find a villain, they wanna find a blame, but I'm the one who walked into the lion's den. I knew the cost of entry, the price of salt. I knew that fire only knows how to consume. So I can't even call it a tragedy or fault, as I watch the shadows stretch across the room. Some people leave a footprint in the sand. Some people leave a letter in a drawer, but you left a signature with a heavy hand, and I don't recognize my body anymore. It's the texture of the ice that went so wrong, the only part of you that stayed this long. Loving you was the scar I'll always carry, but the mark stays on. I watched your car pull slow around the bend, the way it has 1,000 times before. I told my pride this had to be the end, and leaned my tired back against the door. I know the math, I've memorized the toll. I know the way the story always breaks. You're like a gravity that pulls my soul right back into the center of mistakes. My head is clear, it's reading all the signs, it sees the warning written in the lines. It knows that one last time is just a lie we tell ourselves so we don't have to die. But I've got a heart that knows better but won't, a heart that says I love you when I don't. It's a rebel in my chest, it's a traitor in the dark, still trying to find a flame inside a spark. I've got the map, I've got the logic, I've got the proof, but my heart keeps hiding from the bitter truth. It's a fool for the ghost of a feeling it can't tether. Yeah, I've got a heart that knows better. I saw your name flash right across my phone, and felt the oxygen begin to leave. I'm better off just staying here alone than wearing us like lace upon my sleeve. My mind is building walls of brick and stone, recalling every word that made me cry. But then I hear that song heart just doesn't care. It knows better. It just doesn't care. We were a portrait painted in pencil, lines too light for the wind to keep. I built a kingdom on a maybe, and I'm still walking in my sleep. We had the map spread out on the table, with every coastline marked in gold. But the ink ran thin before the ending, and the story died before it was told. I can almost feel your heartbeat when I close my eyes at night. We were standing on the threshold, just a step away from light. It was almost forever, almost us, almost a love that we could trust. We were a heartbeat away from life, a sharpened edge away from the knife. I'm living in the nearly and the just about, in the shadow of a flame that flickered out. It's the cruelest kind of blue, to be almost forever with you. The neighbor's porch light is still humming, the same way it did when you stayed late. I'm still waiting for a train that isn't coming, standing at a rusted garden gate. But we were someday in a world of now, a promise whispered to the rain. I'd give my soul to show you how close we came to breaking the chain. Almost is the heaviest word I know, a seed that was planted but refused to grow. It's the ghost of a ring, the echo of a vow. It's the if only that's killing me now. We were so close I could taste the old, but always turned into never in the hallway. It was almost forever, almost us, almost a love that we could trust. We were a heartbeat away from a life, a sharpened edge away from the knife. I'm living in the nearly and the just about, in the shadow of a flame that flickered out. It's the cruelest kind of blue, to be almost forever with you. Just a mile from the finish line, just a breath from being mine. So close, so near, but almost is why you're not here. Almost forever, almost you. The thermostat is humming, trying to fight the frost on the window pane where you once traced your name. floorboards have a shiver that they never had before. The hallway is a tunnel made of ice. I'm staring at the shadows dancing underneath the door, paying for a heaven at a heavy, lonely price. I've got 3 blankets pulled up to my chin, but I can't stop the shivering from deep within. The air in here is biting, it's a bitter, hollow blue, and the only heat I'm finding is the ghost of me and you. Oh, these cold nights and these warm, warm memories are the only things that keep me from the dark. I'm wrapped inside the echo of your always and your pleases, trying to find a glow inside a dead and dying spark. Outside the wind is howling, but inside it's even worse, because loving you's a blessing that's become a frozen curse. I'm freezing in the present while the past is all I see in these cold nights and these warm memories. I can almost feel your breath against the hollow of my neck, like a summer breeze that wandered out of place. My heart is just a vessel, and I'm standing on the deck, searching for the sunlight and the outline of your face. I remember how we tangle up our feet beneath the sheets, laughing at the winter like it couldn't touch us then. Now I'm just a stranger on these lonely, snowy streets, wishing I could be that happy version of us again. They say that heat is energy, that nothing truly dies, but I can see my breath like smoke before my tired eyes. The memories are a fireplace that's burning way too fast. I'm standing in the embers of a love that didn't last. I'm burning up while I'm turning into stone. Oh, these cold nights and these warm, warm memories staring at the hollow in the mattress, tracing lines where your shoulder used to rest. The sunlight's hitting dust across the fabric, like a ghost that's lingering unblessed. I still buy the tea you liked on Sundays, and I set the table just for two. Then I catch myself mid-breath, stuck in the old ways, reaching for a hand that isn't you. The walls are painted morning light, but it's midnight in this room. I'm a shadow of a memory in this garden out of bloom. And I'm crying where you used to be, for the laundry that you'll never wear. It's a different kind of misery to find your sense still hanging in the air. The space you left is wider than the ocean, a quiet storm that's drowning out the sea. Yeah, I'm breaking in slow motion, just crying where you used to be. I saw your favorite movie on the channel. I almost called to tell you it was on. I'm wearing your old oversized gray flannel, trying to pretend you aren't gone. But the sleeves are getting damp around the edges, and the kitchen floor is colder than it was. I'm standing on the sharpest of the ledges, loving you the way your ruin does. They say that time is supposed to be a healer, but time is just a thief that leaves the dead. Every hour makes the absence feel much realer, in a house that hasn't learned how to forget. And I'm crying where you used to be, for the laundry that you'll never wear. It's a different kind of misery to find your sense still hanging in the air. The space you left is wider than the ocean, a quiet storm that's drowning out the sea. Yeah, I'm breaking in slow motion, just crying where you used to be. Right here by the window, right here in the hall, where we used to dance. Now I only fall. I'm just crying where you used to be, where you used to be. I'm making the bed like a guy by the reason, smoothing the sheets where your gravity stays. Outside the window, the shift of the season is marking the ghost of the plans that we made. I go to the office, I answer the phone, I laugh at the jokes that the strangers all tell. No one can see that I'm standing alone in a perfectly constructed, soft-spoken hell. There's no crashing glass, no slamming of doors, just a slow, steady leak on the kitchen floors. I'm a bridge made of wood that's beginning to rot, hiding the battle that nobody fought. And I'm falling apart. Quietly, I'm sitting in traffic, the radio's low, the wipers are ripped against the light rain. I'm watching the people who have places to go, while I'm trying to map out the shape of this pain. My tea's getting cold in a chipped ceramic cup. I'm staring at walls like they're holding a prize. The sun's going down and the stars are coming up, but the light never reaches the back of my eyes. If I scream, would the windows begin to shatter? If I bled, would the red make it finally matter? But I keep my head steady, I keep my voice sweet, while I'm burning to ashes right here in the street. It's a masterclass and nothing is wrong when you've been dying inside for so long. Yeah, I'm falling apart quietly, watching the seams of my soul start to fray. I'm losing my mind so entirely, but I'm doing it in such a civilized way. The neighbors don't hear a single sound as my world comes leveling down to the ground. No sirens, no screams, no mercy me. I'm just falling apart quietly. Shh, can you hear it? The sound of a life turning into dust, the sound of a heart losing all of its trust. It's so soft, it's so still. If the loneliness doesn't kill me, the silence will falling apart quietly. Falling apart quietly. I used to think that heartbreak was a word in a book, a flicker of a candle or a sad longing look. I thought that hurting was a bruise on the knee, something time would fix, something temporary. But then you took my hand and you led me through the door to a level of the lonely I had never known before. You showed me how the oxygen can turn into a blade, and how heavy shade. I was a student of the sunlight, a believer in the glow, with so many beautiful things I had yet to know. But you tore down the curtains and you dimmed the silver light, and you gave me my first lesson in the middle of the night. Oh, I learned what it means to be hollow and small. I learned how it feels when you've given your all, and it still wasn't enough to make a person stay. Yeah, I learned how a heart can just bleed into gray. I didn't know the anatomy of a spirit falling through. No, I didn't know a thing until I met you. I learned silence, I learned shadows, I learned how to lose. Yeah, I learned pain from you. Now I'm an expert in the way a memory can sting. The way a telephone that doesn't ring can be a deafening thing. I know the exact weight of a pillow that's too light, and the way the stars look when they're mocking you at night. You were a master class in how to leave a room, in how to plant a garden just to watch it never bloom. I didn't ask for the degree, I didn't want the scars, but now I'm reading almonds in the cold and distant stars. They say that knowledge is a gift, that truth will set you free, but I trade every lesson for my old stupidity. I'd go back to the version of me that didn't know the ache, the one who didn't know how much a human heart can break. But the school is out, the bell is rung, the classroom's dark and cold, and I'm 1,000 years older than I ever should have been told. I learned what it means to be hollow and small. I learned how it feels when you've given your all, and it still wasn't enough to make a person stay. Yeah, I learned how a heart can just bleed into gray. I didn't know the anatomy of a spirit falling through. No, I didn't know a thing until I met you. You were the teacher, I was the fool. You taught me the meaning of cruel. I know it now, I know it by heart. Every jagged, broken heart. I learned pain from you. I found a Polaroid tucked in a book from a summer we spent by the lake. I almost can't bear to give it a look at the smiles that we didn't have to fake. You're leaning your head on my shoulder just so, before all the sorries and please. Back when we had nowhere we needed to go, and we lived in the light of the trees. Now I see you in line for a coffee downtown, and you look like a stranger I knew. We've put all our colorful memories down for a shade of a bitter blue. I don't miss the fighting, I don't miss the cold, or the secrets we kept in the dark. I don't miss the way that the story got old, or the fire that lost every spark. But I'd give up tomorrow to go back and see the two kids who thought they'd be free. I don't miss the breaking, although we're finally through. But I miss the version of me that was loved by the version of you. We used to speak in a code of our own, a language of glances and signs, but the seeds of the maybe were never quite sown, and we blurred all the beautiful lines. Now you have a life that I don't understand, and I've got a house that's too still. I'm holding a ghost of your ghost by the hand, and I think that I always will. Time is a filter that bleaches the pain, leaving only the highlights behind. I'm standing out here in the freezing cold rain, while the us from 3 years ago plays in my mind. They were fearless and gold, they were heavy and sweet, before they learned how to retreat. I don't miss the fighting, I don't miss the cold, all the secrets we kept in the dark. I don't miss the way that the story got old, or the fire that lost every spark. But I'd give up tomorrow to go back and see the two kids who thought they'd be free. I don't miss the breaking, although we're finally through. But I miss the version of me that was let go, the version through. That girl in the picture, that boy with the light, they're buried in this photograph. I don't miss the ending, I miss the fuss. I just miss the version of you. Before we became whatever this is. I got a system It works like a charm. I wake up and put on a smile. I keep all the memories tucked under my arm and walk for a beautiful mile. I talk about weather, I talk about work. I'm steady, I'm grounded, I'm sane. I don't let the ghost of us linger or lurk. I've mastered the art of the rain. I'm a skyscraper reaching for light. I'm a soldier who's won every fight. I'm the picture of moving along till the radio plays the wrong song. 'Cause I'm fine until I'm not, until I hit that one cold spot, until I see a car that looks like yours, or find your old key in the kitchen drawers. I'm holding it together by a single thread, keeping all the I miss yous inside of my head. I'm a champion of the doing great plot. Yeah, I'm fine until I'm not. I went to that diner on 47th Street, the one where we sat in the back. I sat at a table and grabbed me a seat and didn't let my composure crack. But then the waitress asked, "Where is the girl with the laugh like a Sunday in June?" And suddenly I'm in a tilt and a whirl, and the gravity leaves the room. It's the almost that kills me, the nearly okay, the way that I crumble at the end of the day. I can build up a levee, I can build up a wall, but it only takes a whisper to make it all fall. I'm a house made of cards in a very light breeze. I'm praying for mercy on my shaking knees. 'Cause I'm fine until I'm not, until I hit that one cold spot, until I see a car that looks like yours, or find your old key in the kitchen drawers. I'm holding it together by a single thread, keeping all the I miss yous inside of my head. I'm a champion of the doing great plot. Yeah, I'm fine until I'm not. Ask me tomorrow, I'll tell you I'm good. I'll act like a person who did what they should. I'll wear the mask, I'll play the part, I'll hide the debris of a wandering heart. Yeah, I'm doing fine, I'm doing fine, except for right now. I'm not. I check the screen until the blue light blinds me, tracing the ghost of a conversation gone cold. I'm looking for the us I left behind me, before the story turned to something I wasn't told. The three little dots started dancing like a heartbeat, then they vanished into the white and the gray. Now I'm standing in the middle of a one-way street with 1,000 things I'll never get to say. The timestamp says you saw it an hour ago. The check marks turn blue like the ice in my chest. I'm screaming in a language you no longer know, putting off forever to a final bitter rest. And now I'm left on red by the love of my life, cut by the edge of a digital knife. I sent you my soul in a bubble of green, but there's a wall of silence standing in between. No goodbye, no it's over, no closing the door, just a message delivered that you don't want anymore. Yeah, I'm staring at the ceiling trying to be fair, but I'm just starving, left on red. I scroll back to the nights when the words wouldn't stop, when the battery died before we were through. Now I'm watching my pride slowly start to drop, typing out hey, then deleting it too. Is it easier for you to just watch me hang, to keep the window open but never come in? There's a heavy metallic, hollow kind of bang in the silence where our future should have been. Ignorance is bliss, but the scene is a curse. It makes every memory feel like a hearse. You didn't have the heart to say you don't care, so you just left my heart hanging thin in the air. I'm shouting at a screen that'll never shout back, watching my world slowly fade into black. And I'm left on red by the love of my life, cut by the edge of a digital knife. I sent you my soul in a bubble of green, but there's a wall of silence standing in between. No goodbye, no it's over, no closing the door, just a message delivered that you don't want anymore. Yeah, I'm staring at the ceiling trying to be fair, but I'm just starving, left on red. My phone buzzes loud on the nightstand floor, but it's just a notification from a grocery store. It's not you, it's never you, just the blue light and the scene at 10:42. Left on red. You left me on I've started jumping when the floorboards creak. I don't look up when the doorbell rings. The silence used to make me feel so weak. Now it's just a song the hallway sings. I've memorized the cracks across the ceiling. I've made a friend out of the kitchen light. It's funny how one can stop the feeling if you stay inside the bleeding long enough at night. used to hate the quiet of the morning. I used to fear the emptiness of fall, but I didn't see the subtle way the warning turned into the lock upon the door. And now lonely feels like home to me. It's the only place I know. It's a familiar kind of misery with nowhere left to go. I don't have to hide the tears behind my eyes or dress up my heart in a clever disguise. Your absence is the ghost I finally own, and lonely feels like home. Yeah, lonely feels like home. I don't move your shoes from by the mat. They're like a monument to what we were. I've grown accustomed to the way we sat before the edges started to become a blur. There's a comfort in the coldness of the sheets, a safety in the fact that no one's there. I've traded in the chaos of the streets for a heavy, hollow, easy chair. Sometimes I think about opening the blinds, letting the world see the mess I've become. But peace is a treasure that a broken heart finds when it finally learns how to be numb. Why would I leave when the shadows are kind? Why would I seek what I'm leaving behind? 'Cause lonely feels like home to me. It's the only place I know. It's a familiar kind of misery with nowhere left to go. I don't have to hide the tears behind my eyes or dress up my heart in a clever disguise. Your absence is the ghost I finally own, and lonely feels like home. I've unpacked my bags in the hollow. I've settled deep into the grave. There's no more heartbreak left to follow. Now that I've pushed the world away, turn out the light, close the gate. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Lonely feels like home. Lonely feels like Welcome back. We were a house that was built in a weekend, quick with the spirit and fast with the flame. I didn't see where the shadows were deepening until I was waking and calling your name. We had the windows all open to July, the smell of the jasmine and salt on our skin. But we didn't notice the change in the sky until the first winter was rushing back in. I barely had time to get used to your keys on the table. I barely had time to believe that the earth wasn't a fable. are covered in snow. And oh, love didn't stay long enough to get old. It didn't stay long enough to be told. We were a match that was struck in a storm, a flickering second of keeping me warm. I was just learning the way that you breathe in your sleep. Now I'm just learning the secrets the lonely have to keep. The sun was just rising and it fell from the sky. Love didn't stay long enough to say goodbye. Your coat's still hanging by the back of the door, like a promise that was meant to be kept. I haven't been able to walk on the floor in the spaces where we both lived and we slept. We were a song that cut off in the middle, a sentence that ended without any dots. I'm left with the weight of a beautiful riddle and a heart that is tied in 1,000 tight knots. They say that it's better to have loved for a day than to never have known how the light feels to play. But they don't know the sting of a sudden retreat, when the always you taste it turns bitter and sweet. We were a comet, we weren't a star, we didn't even make it that far. Oh, love didn't stay long enough to get old. It didn't stay long enough to be told. We were a match that was struck in a storm, a flickering second of keeping me warm. I was just learning the way that you breathe in your sleep. Now I'm just learning the secrets the lonely have to keep. The sun was just rising and it fell from the sky. Love didn't stay long enough to say goodbye. Just a cup of coffee, half drank on the shelf. Just a version of me I no longer find in myself. You were the summer, but the autumn came fast. I knew it was beautiful, I didn't know it was the last. Love didn't stay. No, it didn't I'm sitting in the kitchen as the clock strikes 3. The moon is throwing shadows on the floor. I'm staring at the ghost of who I used to be before you walked your bags out through the door. If this were like the movies, I'd be screaming at the sky or crashing plates against the bathroom wall. But the air is thin and heavy, and the well is running dry, and there's no one here to catch me as I fall. The neighbors think I'm sleeping tucked inside. They don't see the way I'm fading in the light. The world make a sound. No, tears don't make a sound. I saw you at the station with a coffee in your hand. You looked so light, like you had shed a skin. I wanted to say something, but I couldn't even stand the thought of letting all that silence in. So I watched you board the engine, and I watched the metal move, a silent film flicker in my head. I'm stuck inside the hollow of a worn-out, lonely groove, while you're writing brand new chapters instead. They say that time will heal, but time is just a thief that steals the noise and leaves you with the grief. It's the good nights that you whisper to an empty side of bed. It's the dialogue that's screaming only ever in my head. 'Cause the deepest kind of breaking is the one you cannot hear. It's the gravity that pulls you down and holds you in your fear. No thunder in the distance, no rhythm in the rain, just the quiet, steady pulsing of a hollow kind of pain. I'm drowning in a canyon where the water's underground, and I'm learning that the hardest part of losing what I've found is that tears don't make a sound. So I'll just keep on drifting through the hall, like a shadow painted gray upon the wall. You won't hear me breaking, you won't hear a thing, just the winter wind and the silence that it brings. Tears don't make a sound. Shh, not a single sound. The door didn't slam, it just clicked in the frame. A sound so small for such a heavy cost. I waited for the air to start calling your name, to tell me exactly how much I had lost. I walked to the kitchen to pour me a glass, but the cupboard was humming a low, hollow tune. I'm watching the hours and the shadows all pass, like a tide that's been left by a disappearing moon. They say when it's over, the noise fades away, but the silence is screaming in shades of dark gray. I thought I'd find peace when you finally left, but I'm just a house that's been shaken and cleft. And oh, I went for a drive just to outrun the sound, but your favorite chorus was stuck on the breeze. Every street corner is a battleground where memories are bringing me down to my knees. I can still hear you humming while you're doing your hair. I can still hear the hay when I walk through the door. But I turn to the corner and nobody's there, just the dust settling down on the hardwood floor. It's a haunting without any ghost in the room, a thunder that follows a long settled bloom. The word forever is bouncing off walls, getting louder and louder each time that it falls. Why won't it stop? Why won't it end? The sound of a heart that refuses to mend. It's the echo after goodbye, the ghost of a laugh that refuses to die. It's the rattle of keys that aren't there in the lock. It's the deafening beat of a motionless clock. I'm living in the space where your voice used to ring, a bird in a canyon that's forgotten to sing. It's not the parting that's making me cry. It's the echo after goodbye. The walls keep repeating what we couldn't say, like a whisper that's trapped in a desolate cave. I'm still listening, but you're long gone. Only the echo carries on. The sun goes down and takes my armor with it, leaving me with skin too thin to touch. The day is good at helping me forget it, but the moonlight always asks for far too much. I keep the TV on to drown the ringing of the silence that you left inside these walls. But every tired melody is singing about the way a giant shadow falls. I can run through the streets while the sky is blue. I can fake a smile like I'm someone new, but the clock strikes 12 and the walls close in and I'm back I reach for my phone just to check the time, but I'm looking for a text that never came. In the 2 a.m. haze, it's a cardinal crime to still be addicted to the sound of your name. The pillow is a desert where I'm searching for your scent, but it's faded like the hopes we used to hold. I'm paying for the love that we already spent in a room that's grown 1,000 winters cold. They say sleep on it, it'll be better in the morning, but the morning is a lie that I can't tell. When every dream is a neon-colored warning that I'm still living in this lonely midnight hell. Oh, the night won't let me heal. It pulls the stitches from my heart. It makes every ghost feel cold and real, and tears my quiet world apart. The stars are just holes where the light used to be, and the dark is a cage that won't set me free. I'm trying to move on, I'm trying to feel, but the night won't let me heal. So I'll stare at the ceiling till the black turns to gray, waiting for the sun to wash the memory away. But I know when the shadows start to steer, the night won't let me heal. It's 3 a.m. and I'm still yours. I saw you laughing in a video a friend of mine posted. You looked lighter than the air, like you'd finally shed the weight. While I'm still sitting in the kitchen, feeling like I'm ghosted by the version of the us that decided on our fate. You moved the boxes, you moved the city, you moved your heart into a sunlight that I haven't seen in years. You made a masterpiece out of tearing us apart, while I'm still drowning in the salt of yesterday's tears. It's like you handed me a suitcase full of stones and walked away with nothing but the sky. I'm the one left shivering inside these hollow bones, while you don't even remember how to cry. I'm living in the sadness that you forgot to feel. I'm carrying the wreckage that you left holding on to the sadness you forgot. Do you ever wake up and reach for the empty side of the bed? Or did you buy new sheets to hide the shape of where I lay? I've got 1,000 conversations running through my head, but you've already found the words you needed to say. I'm the museum of the things we used to be, a quiet building filled with dust and broken glass. You're a traveler who's finally sailing out to sea, watching all the landmarks of our history past. They say that someone always loves the other one more, but I didn't know that I'd be left to hold the door, to keep the fire burning for a house that's already burned, to keep the lessons that you haven't even learned. I'm the memory keeper, I'm the one who stays, I'm the lightning rod for all our rainy days. I'm living in the sadness that you forgot to feel. I'm carrying the wreckage that you left behind. I'm the only one who's keeping all the old wounds real. Why erase the memories from your mind? You found the exit, you found the happily ever after, but I'm stuck in the echo of our final bitter chapter. Yeah, it's a heavy kind of burden, and it's all I've got, holding on to the sadness you forgot. Go ahead and be happy, go ahead and be free. I'll stay right here with the rest of me. I'll keep the sorrow, I'll keep the lot. I'm the only one who remembers the sadness you forgot. The sadness you. Yeah, I remember, even if you don't. I'm still standing on the corner of 5th and Main, where the air turned thin and you let go of my hand. I'm watching the people run away from the rain, while I'm sinking deeper into the shifting sand. You said I need space, and you took the whole sky, leaving me here with the horizon of gray. I didn't move an inch, I didn't even try. I just watched your taillights fade further away. The seasons are changing, the leaves turn to gold, then they shiver and fall in the bite of the cold. The world is a river that's rushing to sea, but I'm a stone at the bottom where you left me. And I'm still waiting where our love ended, like a ghost in a house that's been sold, trying to fix what can never be mended before the winter turns my spirit to mold. I'm a statue up forever, I'm a monument to us, turn into shadows and turn into dust. You found a new path, you found a new bed, but I'm still waiting where love had to end. The cafe behind me has changed its own name, and the cracks in the sidewalk have grown, but the ache in my chest is exactly the same as the night I was suddenly left on my own. I keep my eyes fixed on the edge of the street, thinking maybe you'll realize you made a mistake, that you walked through the crowd until our eyes meet and pull me out of this hollow, dull lake. They say that time is a bridge to the after, but I'm still standing on the edge of the before. I'm haunted by the sound of your ghost-ridden laughter as I pace the perimeter of an invisible door. If I leave this spot, then it's really the truth that I'm losing the always. Although I'm still you, but I'm still waiting where love ended, like a ghost in a house that's been sold, trying to fix what can never be mended before the winter turns my spirit to mold. I'm a statue of forever, I'm a monument to us, turn into shadows and turn into dust. You found a new path, you found a new bed, but I'm still waiting where love had to end. The sun is going down again, the streetlights are starting to hum. I'm still looking for a sign, but I know you're never gonna come. I'm just a memory you won't run, I'm just a place where you began to leave. I'm still here. The coffee's still sitting where you left it that night, cold like the space on your side of the bed. We master the art of avoiding the fight, by leaving the hardest of secrets unsaid. I watch the dust settle on photos of us, framed in a hallway of shadows and gray. We ran out of rhythm, we ran out of trust, but neither had courage to walk away. And oh, we loved in the silence, in the echoes of rooms that we used to fill. But we broke with no violence, just the sound of a heart finally standing still. No shouting, no crying, no bridges to burn, just two ghosts waiting for the page to turn. We loved in the silence until the silence was all that we had. I reach for your hand, but I find only air. The ghost of your fingers, a phantom design. We lived in a house where the walls were all bare, afraid of the colors we left far behind. You're looking at me through a window of glass. I'm screaming your name, but there's no sound at all. We watched every season and memory pass, while we built up the bricks of this invisible wall. They say that the truth is a thunderous thing, that love is a riot, a beautiful roar. But ours was a bird with a broken wing, dragging its shadow across the floor. I trade all this quiet for one honest word, even if it was goodbye. But oh, we loved in the silence, in the echoes of rooms that we used to fill. We broke with no violence, just the sound of a heart finally standing still. No shouting, no crying, no bridges to burn, just two ghosts waiting for the page to turn. We loved in the silence until the silence was all that we had. Now the house is too loud with you gone. The clock on the wall is the only song. Tick, tick, tick. We loved in the silence, and now I'm just silent. I watch you pack the memories in a cardboard box, while I stood frozen by the kitchen sink. You were always good at picking locks. Well, I was always forced to stop and think. The door clicked shut, a final hollow sound, and the silence started heavy in the hall. You're miles away and feet are on the ground, while I'm still waiting for the sky to fall. They say that moving on is just a choice, a simple step into a brand new life. But I'm still haunted by the echo of your voice in the middle of a never-ending night. Because you left, but I stayed broken. Right away, you dropped me on the floor with 1,000 words that went unspoken, and my heart still leaning on the door. You're finding peace in someone else's arms, while I'm still drowning in the used to be. You walked away and ignored the alarms, and left the wreckage here with me. Yeah, you left, but I stayed broken. I see the photos of you on the coast. You look like someone who's found their way, while I'm still living with your stubborn ghost in a house that's stuck in yesterday. I try to sweep the pieces in a pile, but they're too sharp and scattered for my hands. I haven't seen the sunlight in a while, just an hourglass that's running out of sands. Is it easy to forget the way we felt? To just erase the lines we used to trace? Or did the ice in your heart simply melt and leave me shivering in this empty space? You took the future and you took the pride, and left the sorry on the other side. Because you left, but I stayed broken. Right where you dropped me on the floor with 1,000 words that went unspoken, and my heart still leaning on the door. You're finding peace in someone else's arms, while I'm still drowning in the used to be. You walked away and ignored the alarms, and left the wreckage here with me. The world keeps moving at a steady pace, but I'm a statue in a crowded room, tracing the outline of your absent face in this quiet, dusty gloom. You left, God, you left so fast, and I'm still waiting for the pain to be the past, but I'm still broken. I'm still broken. I can walk through the grocery store and past the aisle where we used to laugh. I can stand on our old front porch and look at the welcome mat torn in half. I can handle the smell of your favorite rain. I can handle the songs that we used to play. I've learned how to mask the edges of pain and get through the motions of every day. I'm a master of the I'm doing fine, a professional at drawing a line. I've built a fortress, stone by stone, to prove I'm okay being alone. But your name still breaks me. It's a jagged piece of glass in my throat. Your name still shakes me like a storm that's decided to sink my boat. Two simple syllables, a breath and a sound that bring all my towers down to the ground. I can survive the goodbye and the we're through, but I can't survive the echo of you. Someone mentioned you at a party last night, just a casual word in a crowded room. And the air in my lungs suddenly got tight, like a winter frost on a sudden bloom. It's a five-letter wrecking ball, heavy and fast, a secret code that unlocks the past. I was doing so well, I was almost okay, until someone let those letters slip away. It's not the photos, I put those away. It's not the memories, they've turned to gray. It's just that sound, the way it used to feel, like a holy prayer, like something real. Now it's a siren, it's a sharp intake of breath. It's the tiny sting of 1,000 deaths. Yeah, your name still breaks me. It's a jagged piece of glass in my throat. Your name still shakes me like a storm that's decided to sink my boat. Two simple syllables, a breath and a sound that bring all my towers down to the ground. I can survive the goodbye and the we're through, but I can't survive the echo of you. I'll change the subject, I'll turn my head, I'll leave the beautiful things unsaid. But in the quiet, in the dark, ghost of your name still leaves a mark. Your name, it's still